I'm Matthew Galgani with your IBD 2-minute tip. Sell or hold. How to review your stocks in a weakening market. When a market uptrend loses steam and the current outlook goes from confirmed uptrend to uptrend under pressure to market in correction, you need to take defensive action. Why? Because when the overall market goes down, it takes 3 out of 4 stocks down with it. So it's likely your stocks will also pull back. You just don't know how much. Here are 2 questions you can ask to see if it's time to sell or hold. This is especially important in a choppy environment where the market quickly moves back and forth between a confirmed uptrend and a correction. First question, how big a gain or loss are you sitting on? If you have a big profit in a stock, you might choose to sit tight for a while and see how the market and your stock behave. But if you have a small loss or a small gain as the overall market weakens, you may want to sell. Why risk it? You don't want your gains to disappear, and you should never let a small loss turn into a big one. And remember, regardless of market conditions, always sell if a stock drops 7 to 8% below what you paid for it. Second question, how is your stock behaving? Is it finding support, or is it being sold off on heavy volume? Here's a daily chart for Carbo Ceramics as of July 26, 2011. Let's say you bought on the breakout from this flat base, so you're sitting on a gain of about 72%. Distribution days, or days of heavy selling on the major indexes, were starting to mount at this time. That's a sign of market weakness. And at the close on July 25th, the current outlook changed to uptrend under pressure. Carbo Ceramics was still edging higher, but notice how volume was below average and trending lower as the stock hit new highs. That could mean enthusiasm among big investors was waning. But since you had a nice profit, let's say you decided to hold and see how it played out. The next day, Carbo Ceramics dropped almost 4%, and volume was well above average. At the market close on the same day, the current outlook changed to market in correction. So now you have to ask yourself, with the overall market in a downtrend and your stock starting to pull back on rising volume, do you want to sell or hold? Again, if you were sitting on a small gain or a small loss at this point, selling would be your best option. But in this scenario, you're sitting on a big gain. One option would be to sell a portion of your shares to make sure you lock in at least some of those profits. The next day, the stock gapped down and lost almost 7%, and volume was huge, meaning some big investors were dumping shares. Your original 72% gain was now down to 54%. Whether you sell or hold is up to you, but with the market in a correction and your stock selling off hard on heavy volume, the price is more likely to go down than up, at least for now. Carbo Ceramics dropped again the next day, and volume was huge. If you were still holding the stock, your 72% profit had now dropped to just 49%. The stock was testing its benchmark 50-day line, and it could bounce right back. But are you willing to take that chance? Remember, you can always buy back a stock if it shows renewed strength. But in the meantime, you can lock in your gains and watch how it plays out while sitting safely on the sidelines. Successful investing is all about keeping the odds in your favor. So be sure to ask these questions when the overall market comes under pressure and falls into a correction. They'll help you avoid potentially larger losses and hold on to your hard-earned gains. That's your IBD 2-minute tip. Thanks for watching.